The ethereal was right. The war is lost. We're a resistance now, and we need every human survivor we can call to our cause. Maybe this one here can still die with some honor. If they ever wake up, send them to me. If they don't, bury him deep with the others.
Hey, I am Chris Edge. Autumn of 2023, checking news feed. Besides the rather obvious marks of global warming and the world slowly sliding into a horrifying full-range conflict, Diablo 4 goes to Steam. Wow. 3 months ago, the idea of Elon Musk going to Mars by November was more probable. Well, today I won't be speaking about Diablo 4. I am going to talk about evolution, mostly. Before, some thoughts about Diablo. I've been a fan of the franchise and Blizzard since the very first Diablo and StarCraft games. For sure, questionable and bad moves were made during Blizzard's last period of time, and they have seemed to lose direction lately. I hope one day they can recover, and time, plus effort, can save Diablo 4. My fingers are crossed, honestly. But whatever the present situation is, the fact that the first half of Blizzard's history had an important and positive impact on the gaming industry is a fact, I think. Times change. The teens who grew up playing Diablo became adults and many became inspired to work in the gaming industry. Partly paying homage, partly going beyond the scope of their heroes, they started to walk their own paths. Van Helsing, Victor Vran, Torchlight, Titan Quest, Path of Exile, The Ascent and our game today, Grim Dawn, among many others of course. They grew from the same branch technically, still they walk a different route. Some became nicer, some more narrative, some more for the online masses and some more uncompromising hardcore. That's where Grim Dawn gets the spotlight, and in my opinion, the win. It has its own way of character development and skills that, thanks to the dual-class system and very well-set balance, provides an ample of variations and character builds. If you combine two seemingly mismatching classes that still work, you can discover some pretty odd and cool tactics that help you to carve through the massive game map. Grim Dawn was released around 2016 and I played it on a regular level from the start, but I think I could just barely scratch the surface of possibilities. I don't even start to mention its devotion layer with its attribute adjustments. This is multiplied by the enormous variation of items and sets to complement your builds. If you are a sort of hoarder, like me, this is your game. The right setting also supports the experience. Grim Dawn has an utterly dark and desperate game world with humanity around the brink of extinction. To be exact, it has the darkest game world among the Diablo-inspired action RPG games I have played in depth. I enjoyed this one the most and it made the most sense to me. As for longevity, besides the massive variations and complex character system that provides years of fun, the game itself has been spiced up with consistent updates, enhancements and DLCs that double the base content. It is carried to this date as the next DLC called Fangs of Asterkarn will come out in 2024 with a new chapter, factions and an ample of additions. I can't wait to play it. The only problem with Grim Dawn, in my opinion, is the lack of hype. It is respected, yet way too underrated. It is developed by Crate Entertainment, a relatively small game dev company who must have used their resources cleverly to provide such a full game that bests both Diablo 3 and 4. Blizzard had massive resources, and they could blow it. Still all the news is about how bad Diablo 4 is, instead of giving appreciation to Grim Dawn, or the likes where everything works fine, from the start. People prefer bitching to playing. If it wasn't so, they just dropped Diablo 4 and started to search for alternatives and discover them. But, they just don't. Even if you tell a typical gamer friend, 8 out of 10, something like, "Hey hello dude, don't be pissed off at this game," there are way better alternatives, he will say okay whatever, and continue to talk about how bad Diablo 4 is. Then, he goes home and keeps on playing and cursing it. I don't understand people. But really. So I don't even know why I am going to tell this, as I am almost entirely sure that a sentence like, just left what you dislike and find a new thing you don't, will vanish like flour in a sandstorm, but here you are. If you like action RPGs and utterly dark game worlds, feel a void after the amazing Diablo 2 and are tired of mega companies destroying franchises, while milking you on the way, just check Grim Dawn out. It is what all of those who claim to be the big thing, should be. Grim Dawn is not only one of the finest games of its kind but also the right step in the evolution of the action RPG genre. It absolutely deserves to be appreciated. That's been Chris, the Hopeless. See you, somewhere, in time.
Paid a heavy price, but the trap worked.
You seem surprised.
It's been a while